The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The Lethbridge Bullhorn is all things regarding the Lethbridge Bulls of the Western Canadian Baseball League. The Bullhorn has the latest news regarding the Bulls with interviews with current and past players, signings, game recaps, and updates on all the events happening at Spit Stadium. The Bullhorn is your place for all things regarding baseball in Lethbridge. Get your horns up with the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls Baseball Report. All right, welcome to the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls Baseball Report. Everything there is to know about the Lethbridge Bulls of the WCBL, now up on YouTube and on Rogers TV right across Western Canada. Tonight we have a jam-packed show for you. All the coaches have joined us to with their divine wisdom about the game of baseball here in Lethbridge, Alberta. Head coach Ryan McDonald, pitching coach Josh Bergman, assistant coach Miles Fletcher, and recently retired.
It's just over.
Retired, and a great career, great player in his own mind, Mr. Carlin Dick. How you guys doing tonight, boys?
Doing good. How you doing, Brett?
Good.
Real good.
No, this should be trying to get you guys like herding cats. We're all together in one spot for a little bit anyways. Just trying to keep you guys quiet might be the toughest part of the ordeal. But we'll start with the team going. We won't talk about last year. That's in the past. We've beaten that horse to death a little bit. I'm sure we'll get to there because Carl will start talking about glory days and everything. But
classic.
One of those things. Team basically set for the season coming up, start in the end of May. Ryan, we'll start with you, the head coach. You've been around this thing for a long time. How does the team get put together, and like how do you convince guys to come up first off to come up to Lethbridge and go away from home? Like how does it all come together and the contacts you got to have, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, basically, we had a good core group of guys last year, and kind of just ask guys that you think are going to be role players coming up in the upcoming year, and then just try to fill the gaps. I kind of left it more on Josh's hands this year for the pitching side of it, and I think he's doing a really good job on getting guys in. That I think that was kind of our downfall last year is we just ran out of arms, and I think he's doing a really good job of kind of over recruiting guys, and we're filling roles with guys that aren't coming back, and I think on paper right now we're shaping up to be a little bit better than last year. So yeah.
Josh, go over to you. Like, how do you decide? Like, it's got to be a big trust thing where you talk with these coaches, and you can look at stats on the internet, and you can the stats are for me. Stats are for nerds. It's a big eye test for me. Like, how do you trust these coaches that you call and say, okay, this guy's done this guy's done that, and then you got to trust Carlin's his wisdom sometimes. Go, what are we going to get here? But like, how do you trust these coaches, the relationships that you build with these guys that you probably have only talked to, not even face to face, but just over the phone?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, Brent, is the relationship piece of things. If you really trust what they're saying to you, and you've had experience with some of their guys come up and know what you're kind of getting from them, I think that's the big thing for us. And obviously we want guys that have had success statistically, but at the end of the day, if we can trust what they're saying from the word of mouth, we're going to go off of that more times than not. Sometimes there's certain situations where guys have, numbers get a little bit skewed, especially for relievers. In a season, if you only pitch 10 appearances, and 3 of those 10 times it wasn't your best outings, but the 7 out of the 10 you were really, really good. A lot of times it can inflate, and it looks bad on paper, but ultimately, at the end of the day, we like the stuff, and we know what's going to get outs in our league and in the summer, and we trust the guys that we have connections with, and I think we've built a really good roster based off of that.
Miles, we'll go to you. Like, a lot of things have changed since 100 years ago when you played in the league, and the first incarnation of the Bulls, and you guys had a roster of maybe 20 guys, if that, and half of them were pitchers. So it's kind of the way things work. What's the biggest change you've seen in the recruiting things 25 years ago to now, and how the rosters are built throughout the not just with the Bulls, but throughout the league?
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest change, particularly with the Bulls, is that first year, I think we were about 75 or 80% PBA players. Now we got guys coming from all over North America, essentially. So that's probably the biggest thing, is just the infusion of talent, because they've expanded their recruiting pool.
Carlin, like when you started talking, I talked with JC Espinoza yesterday, and like, and you're part of the recruiting team now and part of the coaching and the management, I guess, per se. Like when you first talked to JC, what was what were your selling points to come to Lethbridge, not just the WCBL, but to Lethbridge, Western Canada, coming right across the country in Pennsylvania? Like, how do you say, hey, I got an idea for you? And how do you convince these guys that this is a good idea?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just like it's a place to come play, experience something new. A lot of guys that I play with out east, they never get to experience anything new. They always play on the East Coast and they never really leave. And I think just the fact that I had a great experience here and being able to share that with him and let him in on a few Lethbridge Bulls secrets and have him play in Lethbridge for the summer will be lots of fun for him. So I think
paid for, right?
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. Like, Ryan, we'll go back to you here, but like now you got your team coming. Either you have chemistry or don't. It's not something you can really blend together. The season's so bloody quick, and you get guys in. You don't know if you can replace or how you're going to do it. That first bus trip you guys had last year probably helped. We're going to go to last year, but it's going to happen again this season with the early road trip. Do you guys know? And like, talk about all you guys. Do you guys know pretty quick if this is going to work as a team and if it's all going to blend together? Or can you weed out the bad apples pretty quick?
Yeah, I mean, basically just setting the structure and what the expectations are day one, kind of lays it out there for guys. But, having the roster that we kind of put together, we're just kind of trusting the process and knowing guys are going to struggle early. most guys coming in typically haven't played games since the beginning of May, so they've had 3 or 4 weeks off, and just kind of relying on what about the kids and I got a baby crying upstairs right now, so a little distracting. But yeah, just trusting kind of the recruiting process and just kind of what you've built all year, and then from that, last year it was just 3 and 4 injuries away from being a kind of a championship running team. Coming into the season, you lose your four of your 5 starters basically coming into the year. You're not typically in a good situation. We had guys step up and basically roles that they shouldn't have been filling, and they did a great job. And hopefully this year we can stay healthy, going into the season.
Miles, because you didn't go on that initial road trip, and then you get thrown onto the field there after they've been together for 8 or 9 days. So you're kind of the fresh set of eyeballs looking at things, which is actually a good thing a lot of times, because if you're around people all the time, you don't really see some flaws that might come out. Do you think that like sometimes it did? And I'm not saying there was, but did you have a couple of conversations with these other 3 Yahoos saying you might want to check this kid out, or something just might rub you the wrong way a little bit?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily that they rubbed me the wrong way. It was, I might have seen a kid struggling because they're away from home for the first time, or, a long ways, or they did have that break like Mac talked about. And, they might have been struggling, missing home, wanting to go home. So I might have brought it to their attention, like, hey, maybe get this guy into the office and see what's going on upstairs if they weren't agreeing with their billet or something like that. And it's more so like that, not necessarily guys rubbing the wrong way, more so out of concern for them.
Josh, when you're calling these coaches, and here, like the thing that that's changed a lot over the years, even like probably Ryan when you played, and even back in 2015 when the championship was won, you got to probably convince these guys, and Carlin, you might be able to attest to this as well, but you got to be able to convince these coaches, one, that these guys are going to be getting some playing time, and saying, okay, like that's why they're here, is like they're helping us so as much as you're helping them out, kind of deal. Is that kind of something you have to talk with these coaches about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big part of it. And, we make sure that everybody's going to get their time in. And then ultimately, when we get kind of dwindles down towards the end of the season, if we're in that playoff push, which we hope to be in every year, then we start to get closer to kind of that set lineup of, okay, these guys are kind of our 9-10 guys that we really, really like, that are giving us the best chance to win every single day. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to win it. We want to win a WCBL championship. Our ultimate goal is to give these guys a great environment and a place to have some fun and enjoy their summers, while also at the same time continue to get better and further their baseball career. Because, that's why they come up here and come up here for this experience. So it's definitely that balancing act with those coaches. I mean, we, on the pitching front, we get our guys in, no matter what, guys are going to get innings, whether you're starting or coming out of the bullpen, you're going to get your innings and you're going to get your work in. We just can't do it over the length of the season. It happens fast, but we play a lot of games in a shorter period of time, so we have to use everybody, right? So everybody's going to get their time in, and it's those relationships that we have with those coaches that they trust us to be able to do that, to develop their players and get them better, so that when they leave us in the summer and go back there in the fall, that they've taken maybe that next step to help them, win in the springtime of the next year for them.
Carlin, now that you're going to have to play good cop, bad cop kind of deal a little bit now, because you were teammates with some of these guys just last season, and now you're going to be on the coaching side of things, and you're going to be hearing these gripes a little bit. What's going to be your approach with these guys saying, well, this is the reason why you're not playing, this is what we're trying to accomplish? Because everybody thinks that they're great. I mean, most guys who play at this level and higher, they have and you have to have a bit of a walk like a peacock, I guess, a little bit to get to this level. What's going to be your approach telling these guys, like, just and I don't want to hear you say, well, just trust the process, because that's a cop out. What's your plan there?
No, I think the biggest thing is you can do is just keep it real with them. Like kind of how Josh alluded to, there's going to be a balance. Like everyone's going to get their reps and licks in, so to speak, and we're going to try and win baseball games. And I think we have a good roster for whatever given lineup that we put out there. It's going to have a chance to win each and every night. But I think just keeping it real with them, where they fit in the team, or maybe the guy that's playing ahead of them are the best hitter in the lineup right now, and it's hard to take him out of the lineup. So I think just being real with them and knowing that as the coaching staff, we're going to have a good balance of the guys playing when they're playing, and that everyone's at some point going to get their reps is the best way to go about it, and just really keep being honest with them.
Well, that's my next question, Ryan. Like, at what point do you not have a conversation? But at what point, Ryan, do you just kind of, like, guys will know that, okay, I'm not going to be playing every night? Like, yeah, they got to get their reps in, but do guys figure it out pretty quick that, yeah, that guy's just better than me flat out? He just is. Yeah,
it's usually, a couple weeks in, they can pretty much figure it out themselves. I mean, there's been, times in the past where guys think they should be playing kind of over guys, and it's just like, hey, dude, this guy is our guy type of thing. And we'll try to get you in when we get you in. And I think that's kind of what we did this year. Last year I felt we had a couple guys too many and didn't have enough arms, where this year I think we took more arms and not so many position guys. And now we got basically 14 position guys that we can roll out a 9 any day of the week and kind of still win ball games, where, last year was like, oh, we got to get this guy. And we're in Fort Mac for 4 days. We got to try to get him at bats type of thing. And this year, I don't think we're going to have that issue. So, I think the more arms is going to
say that now, and then come July 5th. What the heck? We need some bodies here. Josh, like when you talk to these coaches, like because I sit on the other side of the desk from you there, and I don't butt my nose into things too much. I mean, I say my piece. Just
don't lie. You do from time to time.
Which is always. Don't say your piece, I know what I have to say doesn't hold water at all, ever, and I think you guys should listen to me a little bit more. But whatever, that's their story for another day. But do these coaches have a pretty strict mandate of how many innings they can go, what they can be used, and do the players sometimes? Because I know, like Jack, he would have thrown 1,000 innings, you would have let him. But do some of these guys are they like, okay, I only got this many innings, and this is what it's going to be?
Yeah, with certain coaches, there's definitely going to be a mandate, especially on the pitching side. I can't speak so much on the hitting front. I mean, it's not certainly a amount of at bats that guys got to get. Obviously, they want their guys to play, but yeah, ultimately they're going to earn that time. On the pitching front, it's a little different. It's definitely a little bit more structured from that side of things. And you have guys like Jack who is willing to go out, every night or every second night and go close out a game for us, which we appreciate, obviously. But we want him to be fresh August 5th or August 6th when playoffs start, right? So we got to be careful in how we manage guys from that perspective, and then also respectively to their clubs, how we manage them as well. Because if we want to continue to build that trust and with those coaches, so that they keep sending their guys back to us, the big thing obviously is going to be the health side of things. If we can keep them healthy throughout the summer, they keep getting better, keep developing, move on. And so then we're going to, continue that relationship and get more players, more pitchers, whatever it is, from those respective schools.
Miles, and I want Carlin to chime in after your response to this, but Like I think in this league, personally, you got to have some older guys who are out there, and this might be their last games ever, and have this is it all out, and a pitcher who might never throw again. I think it's very important to have a mix of younger guys, obviously, as well. But does it ever get to a point, especially last season, where you had a number of veteran guys? I talked with Tyler Monroe today, just BSing back and forth, just texting, and did you have to sit back with these guys and say, man, like, just, you gotta, like it says in the Bulls dressing, you gotta have fun, quit thinking, so whatever it says there. Did you ever have to talk with some guys this summer and say, you know what, you're gonna look back on this, it's gonna be great, like, and just enjoy the moment, because you might never get this again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get a little bit of a mix. You get guys coming in who are taking it ultra seriously and not realizing, you know what, it's summer ball and it's meant to be fun. Then you have the flip side where some guys come in and that's all they want to do is have fun and not really care about what's happening on the field. So yeah, you do have to sometimes sit down with those guys and have that conversation with them. And, you know, referencing some of the older guys, you know, it is a tough conversation to have with them, but sometimes you have to remind them, hey, you know what, might be your last, you know, baseball game you'll ever play, serious baseball game. So you do have to have some of those conversations with players. Absolutely.
Did you ever have that chat with anybody, Carlin, when it was getting down to the nitty-gritty there? I know we talked about that very last game and how the feeling was afterwards, but leading up to that, say in July, you started counting down the days, and are you going to have that conversation with some guys and say, man, this is just smile and enjoy it while you can?
Yeah, I think for the most part last year, like, a lot of guys knew that already. Like, it was kind of the vibe around the room when you have, I don't know, 6 or 7 of your starting 9 were all maybe playing their last game of baseball each and every night. But I think this year, maybe just a little bit more, you'll have to have that conversation, because I think our team's a little bit younger quite a bit younger than we had last year. But I think the biggest difference is, like, those 5th-year guys or 4th-year guys who are graduating, is there's not really any expectation. Like, you're not going back to school to a college coach saying, oh, my college coach is checking my stats once a week. They're not an eye test guy like Brent is. But they whereas, like, the 4th-year guys, like, it doesn't matter, right? They're done. But I think just it depends on the guy too, right? If someone's serious and that's the way they function on the field, then that's the way they play. I think it's all relative to the person.
Like, you guys have all had some success in this league or wherever it is in baseball, in your baseball lives. And I'm going to ask a question. I want to hear some. I'm expecting to hear 4 different answers. Start with you, Ryan. But the basic thing is what's the best part about summer baseball and playing a WCBL? Because, like, Miles, you played in what is the SMBL, and on it goes, right? So and like Ryan, you had success 2015, been with the team for a while, and Josh, you played at a very high level, obviously drafted, and Carlin, well, you'll tell us your whole story over and over again. So you had success as well. Let's start with you, Ryan. What's the best part? And put on your player's uniform, not so much your coach's uniform right now. But what was the best part about playing WCBL when you were when you were playing back in the day?
Just playing in front of the fans. Like, a lot of places you play, like, you know, Okotoks, Sylvan, like, you go into a packed barn. You've never, you know, coming from a small town in Nova Scotia, I've played in maybe in front of, you know, 100 people in my life, and you go there and there's 5,000 in Okotoks, you know what I mean, type of thing. And or in Lethbridge, you know, sold out on Canada Day, same thing, you know. And then getting the experience of fireworks after that, it's just something you'll never forget. And then, you know, kind of traveling all around and being places you've never been, and, you know, getting to spend time with guys from all over North America and getting to know them. It's fun. You're basically playing every single day. You know, it's very similar to professional schedule. So, you know, you wake up and you go to the field and you play, and then you do it all over again tomorrow. And it's definitely a lifestyle. And it's something it's very enjoyable. Yes.
Josh?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I never had the luxury of playing summer ball through my college career or anything like that. So I didn't get to experience that. But as a coach now going through it, you know, I think for me, Ryan kind of hit on it. It's the players. It's the getting to know these guys that are kind of from all walks of life. You know, last year we had kids from all over the U.S. We had some kids from the Dominican. We had one kid from the Dominican Republic, and Bernie Sakaris, who's coming back, and Adonis Bernal from Panama, who's coming back. So you get to learn a little bit about these kids, you know, their lifestyles, and, you know, how those guys are a little bit, you know, not as fortunate as we are here in our country, and the love that they have for the game. It just, you know, as a coach, it kind of rubs off on you and re-energizes you throughout a, you know, kind of a, like I said, a 56 game schedule. Last year we had an amazing group of guys. Obviously, we had a lot of guys that we had experience with, being Lethbridge guys or been Bulls for quite a few years. So it made coming to the field super enjoyable every single day. But I would say for me as a coach, it's all about the players and the guys that we bring in, and we're excited. I'm excited about the group, and I speak for our coaches that we're really excited about the guys that we have coming in, the guys that we have coming back, but also the new guys and the excitement of getting them in here for our first game on May 30th.
Miles, things have changed a lot over the years over at Spit Stadium. Even the name Spit Stadium was Henderson Stadium back when we were rolling around out there a long time ago. What's the best part of it for you?
I'll echo what those guys said, playing in front of the fans and playing with the boys. I think we all realize that, the school season, it's a grind. It's a long time. It takes a toll on a guy. And then you come play summer ball and, just like the Trooper song, you're here for a good time, not a long time. And everyone realizes that. And you form some bonds really around that. Everyone's just there to have fun. And you know what? You create those lasting memories because everyone is just having a good time, really.
That is the first Trooper reference in the long and illustrious era of the Bullhorn Bulls baseball report. Carlin, we'll wrap it up, not wrap the show up.
Oh my God.
With you. I got to hear this because get your drinks ready, kids, because it's going to be a long one.
21 minutes and 18 seconds into the show here. Let's see how long this goes.
First, he said to put your
Well,
players.
then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did
He said to put your players cap on, Josh, and you kept your coach's cap on.
Couldn't go with the players cap.
I think it's just the relationship. Yeah, it's just I think it's just the relationships you build, and I think more of it happens off the field, like the stuff at night, like Coach Mag referenced the Moose Jaw Casino, like things like that, where you're hanging out with your teammates throughout the summer. I think when you're at school, you got to focus on schoolwork or baseball or whatever, and in the summertime, it's just baseball. So I think that brings a group together pretty quick. Kept it short for you, Josh, too.
Attaboy.
I didn't believe a thing you just said. Like I didn't believe a thing you just said.
Come on.
You couldn't even say with a straight face, focusing on.
I can't stop laughing.
What a crock of hooey that was! My God, you got to get better at that. Last question before we get to the really fun stuff here, but we'll start with Miles. Like you winning's hard. Like no matter what, you're pulling guys together and you want to win, but what's for you? Resident of Lethbridge, been around the team for a long time and in and out in different aspects of baseball. What's like now that you're back in the coaching side of things with the Bulls? What's a successful season for you? What's what would top it all? Like what would you gauge a successful year?
I mean, obviously winning a championship would gauge a successful year, but at the end of the year, if guys had fun, if they're sad to leave, if they want to come back again the following year if they're eligible, that's pretty much the gauge. If guys want to come back and continue playing, or if they're sad to leave when the summer's over, to me that's a gauge of success.
Josh?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like as long as the players have a good experience, they enjoy their time here, we put on a good show for them, and they get to come into a play in a really good ballpark and get to be in front of some good fans and go to see cool cities and all that stuff. And if they have a good experience and go back. And I think the other part of that too is they go back to their schools and then they bring new guys up from their schools, that we didn't have the previous year, which, we'll have the experience of having this year with some guys going back to schools and bringing new guys up. So I think that's also a successful year as well. And yeah, on top of it, winning a championship, obviously we all want to win. We're all competitive. But I think ultimately if the players have a great experience and can go back and, tell their friends and family and that how great of an experience they have, I think is definitely deemed a very successful year for us.
Ryan, out of the group in front of me here, you're the feisty one, I guess is one way of putting it. A little more than the others. What's a successful year? Like X amount of ejections or X amount of non-ejections, or what's the success?
No, you can only get 2 free ones.
I had to get it in there. I had to.
You gotta pay for the third. You gotta strategically place them. So,
Yeah.
No, obviously winning a championship is the biggest goal, having fun. But the cool thing about coaching is 5 years from now is getting texts from guys saying that was the best summer of my life, or guys on Instagram, inbox me and say, hey coach, how you doing? Like this is what I'm doing now. And that was an amazing summer. Those are kind of the coolest things that I've learned from, coaching since, 2014, 15, 16. And, the last 5 years now again, is the guys that you got kind of just build relationships with, and they always come back and say, man, I want to come back to Lethbridge like that. It was awesome. And, we talking to some alumni that have been there and, 15 and 16 haven't been back to Lethbridge, and they reach out and say they want to come back up and check out some games and stuff. So those are some cool things that, you never think would happen. And it, played a vital part in their lives, and it's something they remember. So those are the cool things for me.
Hey, here we go again. What do you got here? I'm kidding, Carl.
Well, actually,
The
funny you
question's
say
to
that.
you.
My brother just texted me, says, I dare you just to say have fun and not win a championship.
Yeah,
And
you'll be unemployed tomorrow morning.
yeah,
Little Dick texting you.
no,
That's why we're not bringing Cardell back.
It was Carter. It was Carter. Come on.
Oh, okay. Cardell can come back then.
No, I pretty much just echo what these guys are saying. Like, there's not much else to it, really, and I'm excited to experience it from the coaching side of things. Like, I've learned a lot from these three over the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm excited to learn more on the coaching side and pretty much just echo what they say, right? Having fun and win a championship.
The one thing this league has to get done somehow, and I know it's the money and logistics and stuff, but there's got to be a way to get to Weyburn every year, because every American kid who comes up here has to be able to experience
All you can eat KFC. I knew.
Oh, you can eat KFC, baby.
Like it's got to be a thing just for an eye opener, because Americans will land a gluttony, and like it's surprised there's not more of these places all over the states. But for some reason, Americans have. Okay, Weyburn's got one. No, it's going to be, I think we're going to have, like, you guys are telling me how great this team's going to be, and you keep telling me how great you are. So I'm hoping for a championship team this year coming up, because it'd be kind of neat 10 years after the last full season one. I know the Bulls won during that COVID one, but it'd be nice to see another one 10 years later and see how it all wraps up. And Ryan, you were a part of that. We're going to have a night. I can't remember what day it was. What do you remember of that 2015 team, Ryan, that brought her all home all those many moons ago?
Just basically when once playoffs rolled around, it was a core group of guys that were basically all in. When we actually won the championship out in Regina, I think we only had 8 position players left, because Brandon Buffin broke his leg in the game before, 2 games before, out here in Lethbridge. He took one in the leg and broke his tib fib, and he was in a walking boot. And another, Cody Stewart took one in the shoulder blades and was hurt, and our center fielder was down. So 2 outfielders down. We actually had a pitcher in left field to kind of win it. And it was just, didn't matter who it was. They were invested, and they were going to do the best job they could be, and they could do. And that's just, precedent to all those seniors that I had back then. And, some of the older guys, it was like, this is what we're doing, and we're going to do it. And, we went on to win 9 straight in the playoffs and didn't lose a game. So it was just all them. I basically wrote the lineup. I didn't have to do much for that team. So
Miles, these guys haven't lived till they see your coach take the mound in game 1, have they?
No.
Do you remember that a little bit?
Do I remember? Of course I remember that.
Tell us about that whole story.
Well, I mean, that's the same as is now. At the end of the year, half the team has to go back to school before the season's over. And, I mean, Todd Hubka was a little bit younger back then, but, yeah, he still looks the same. And, yeah, he was our head coach. And
if it's possible, he smiled less back then, too, whatever.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And we were short on arms come to the final series. And, yeah, he's got the ball in game 1.
That's why he's going to the PBA Hall of Fame. That story right there is why he's getting himself in the Hall of Fame. No, it's,
a funny thing about that, like he'll tell you to the end that he has got the best left-handed pickoff move, and he's joking about, I'm just going to walk guys and pick them off at first, and he actually picked off a couple of guys in the first inning.
I was going to say, because he couldn't get anybody else, so that's the only way he could do something like that.
Yeah.
No, it should be a lot of fun. As you guys know, I know you guys are very deep into the games when the games are on. You're not paying attention to what's going on outside of the baselines. But as you know, we have this thing at Spit Stadium. 3 easy questions. Can't get them wrong. All court of public opinion. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Fire away.
You betcha.
So much enthusiasm, fellas. Oh.
Who's going first?
Who's first? Yeah.
Well, we'll start with Carlin.
Yes, of course. Weird.
I might not even know who these people are that you're talking about. Okay, for all 5 of you, we'll go around the horn. We'll go Ryan, Miles, and then to Josh. First celebrity crush as a kid, and why?
Selena Gomez, because I loved Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh, we're going all in a row. I thought he was going.
Yes, come on.
I believe it. Alicia Silverstone. I forget what movie she was in when I was younger, but she was a rocket.
Hey, for me, Kelly Kapowski, Tiffany Amber Thiessen from Saved by the Bell. Unbelievable.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm exactly with Carlin Dick. Same thing. Selena Gomez, Wizard of Waverly Place.
Is it bad? I had no idea who Ryan and Wheezy are talking about.
No clue who they're talking about.
Come on.
Not a single idea.
Man, you're losing cool points as we go on this thing, man. That's unbelievable.
Google it.
Kelly Kapowski, baby.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen, she still looks good to this day. I think she's about 51 years old. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, second one, Ryan, we'll start with you. Best player you ever played with?
Best player ever played with, hitter Ken Fugler.
Can't say yourself.
Ken Fugler. Ken Fugler is the best player I've ever played with. Guy can hit anything.
Who's that?
Ken Fuglerud.
Okay.
Surprisingly, has a lot of power. He was the MVP of the league, I'm pretty sure, a few years, and I think he hit over 400 2 of the 3 years I played with him in the league. So
he hit a home run in batting practice this year, and he's got to be how old? 40?
I think he's 2. Yep. 2 years older than me. Yeah.
Hey, for me, during my PBA days, David Mirren was quite the stud back then. You know, we referred to him as a 5-tool player. He could do everything. Once I went down to Shreveport, a guy that went down there with me, his name was Tyson Arishnikov. He won the Gold Glove in the World Series. He turned out to be an unbelievable player.
Yeah, the whole thing about Mirren when he was playing really well, he'd just be grin screwing you the whole time too, eh? Like he had that same grin on his face. I'm just screwing you over one way or another. Yeah, he was great. No, I remember what. And Tyson, he threw out one of the opening pitches this year as well. No, great guy, great player for sure. Burke?
Best hitter I played with Adley Rutschman in a tournament one time. Played Josh Naylor, played Team Canada with. Best pitcher I played with Mike Soroka. Played on the junior national team with Mike. So some good names there for you.
Blazing.
Yeah.
That's some big names. I'm gonna use those in the cutoff of this thing. A little bit of marketing there. Guess who I played with? Yeah, no cool. Who do you got, Carlin?
I'm putting my pitcher and hitter into one. I'm saying Jack Kaliski.
Oh,
he does it better than him on both sides of the ball.
I love it. Awesome. Jack's coming back.
Yeah.
He is now for sure. Yeah. Gonna get back all the time by a certain somebody like kinds of things, but
Carlin's now a coach, so no more Criminal Minds nights until 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, please go to bed. Or whatever. Last one. I know you guys all play golf a little bit. Have you ever cheated while playing golf with one of the guys on the screen?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
We're pretty good. We're pretty good.
For the most part, we're good. Yeah. Little foot wedge here and there. It is what it is.
Foot wedge is pretty
Mine's
good.
more so when I chunk it.
Usually, like if you're in the bushes or whatever, I'm like, just take it out. Like whatever.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's about fun. And
I never cheated on a swear. No. We're usually riding in a cart. I don't know how guys cheat. We're not taking 8s and 9s. Like you had 3 shots or 4 shots. Like,
and we don't care enough.
Yeah. No.
Everything's documented now, anyways, with the Bullpen Golf Company. So,
quick plug right there.
I really think that you guys cheat a lot more than you're letting on for our millions of viewers out there.
Well, you're gonna have to come play then, Brent.
Yeah.
I don't trust you guys. You always reach into my wallet the entire time. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Someone's got to buy the beers.
Yeah. Brent doesn't want to. He's gonna be playing for the ladies' tees while we're playing on the tips. So
probably I'm a senior now. Let's play the senior tour. One of those things. No, guys, it's a lot of fun. We'll do it again as the season gets a little bit closer. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of good stuff happening. Unbelievable. That's the slogan for the season. So Ryan, we'll fill you in how it's all working out. I know you don't. You're an on the field guy. And you don't want to stay at arm's distance away. So that's maybe one of those things. But no, it's like win a championship. Why not? 10 years later, why not? Hey.
Why not?
That's right.
You don't coach to lose. That's for sure.
Any five, let's finish this off the proper way. I want to hear some divine wisdom from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Carlin Dick.
What kind of wisdom? Do it from my hat.
You ain't got none then.
So
Yeah.
you sealed that one up properly. Hat was on, now moron. There you go.
Yeah, moron. I got.
I hope Coach Hubb's watching this and he's just laughing at you or getting pissed off at you.
He'll punch
No,
me.
boys, just a lot of fun. The Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls baseball report. It's up on. I just stumbled through that completely.
Attaboy.
Up on Rogers TV for your viewing pleasure. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Season tickets are on sale, all that stuff. Make sure you guys go to bullsbaseball.com for all the latest information up at Lethbridge Bulls from Lethbridge Bulls baseball. Thanks for coming on this, boys.
Thanks,
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Have a wonderful evening.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
soon.
Yeah. See you at 9 a.m.